Now, for something to be considered a good all-rounder, should it be great at everything, or should it be decent at most things and excel at one major category? In my opinion, the Buds 2 fall into the second category. They can be taken anywhere, they're incredibly discreet, and they fit really comfortably in the air with given adjustable options as well. But to find out what it's really good at and what it's just okay at, we're going to take a look at its specs, the unboxing and pairing process, some of its features, and discuss my experience with it over the past year and a half. Hi everyone, welcome back to Life and Tech with SK. I'm SK. Let's check out the Galaxy Buds 2. Now, I use these buds everywhere. I use them at the gym when I need to go for a run or lift weights. I use them at work when I really need to lock in and focus. And it's a bit of a special use case, but if my girlfriend's sleeping, I can actually connect them to the Android TV at the back there and listen in absolute silence while still watching on the big screen. So it's safe to say that these buds are really versatile for me. Let's break this video down into 5 sections. We'll quickly discuss the specs on the Buds 2, go through the initial unboxing experience, look at some of its features, and then briefly discuss my experience with them, and then come to a conclusion on what's really good on the Buds 2 and then what's kind of not really that good but it's more on the average side for them. Taking a look at the case for the Buds 2, this weighs in at 41 grams, which is incredibly light and you won't really notice it in your pocket unless you feel the shape of it. The battery for the case on the Buds 2 is 472 milliamp hours, which is incredibly tiny, so it charges very quickly. It charges via either a wireless charging pad underneath the bottom of the case, or if you want to use wired charging, there's a USB-C port at the back. It also indicates the battery status via an LED at the front of the case, going from green, which is above 60%, to yellow, which is between 30 and 59%, to red, which is between 10 and 29%. You can also check the battery status of the case inside the Galaxy Wearable app, which we'll talk about later. For the buds themselves, they're also incredibly light, coming in at about 5 grams each, and have a battery capacity of 61 milliamp hours each. So you could charge them theoretically about 4 or 5 times before the case fully died. I get about 4 to 5 hours of use of these guys easily, so I almost never notice when they're low on battery. I'm also always cycling them inside and outside the case just so I don't lose them, so they're pretty much fully charged all the time. They have 3 microphones and dynamic 2-way woofer and tweeter. Inside the case, you also see there's an LED that goes on for when the buds are charging. So it's kind of nice and convenient to have one for the buds and one for the case. So for battery life and charge time, I think they got that unlocked pretty well. Unboxing the Buds 2, please don't judge my case. It's been chilling, in isolation for a year. It's pretty crusty, but I'm just doing my best with what I have. You get a small quick start guide in the roof of the box with a warranty card, and underneath the earphones you get a USB cable. Mine is currently being used to charge my phone. And you also get a bud replacements to adjust the buds to fit your needs. And then obviously you get the Buds 2 chilling inside the case, ready to go. For pairing with the Buds 2, you should actually download the Galaxy Wearable app on the Play Store or on the App Store. Once it's downloaded and you've opened up the buds while they're inside the case, then they should ask you on your phone if you want to pair with them. I personally don't own an iPhone, so I'm not sure exactly how this will work on there, but I assume you'd have to go into the app to connect to them. Or if you don't want to download the Galaxy Wearable app and instead you want to connect by Bluetooth manually, then you can hold both of the buds down with both fingers while they're inside the case until the buds LED inside the case starts blinking green. Then you should be able to connect to them via Bluetooth manually. Now the real meat and potatoes of the Buds 2, which are its features. So let's talk about those. So starting with, we're going to talk about the active noise cancellation, which you get 3 settings for. You get off, which is just the buds operating at standard level. It's kind of just like mini earplugs. You have active noise cancelling, which actively tries to counteract, the sounds that you're hearing, to kind of cancel out the frequency so you hear almost nothing. And then you have ambient, which basically acts as a pass-through and actually tries to make things better by letting sound in through the mics and into your ear. So in increasing order of noise cancellation, you have ambient, which is basically just, having the earbuds off. Honestly, it's quite good. Then you have off, which is basically just the standard default setting. And then you have active noise cancelling, which tries to block out as much sound as possible. You can actually cycle through them using the touch control on the earphones. So speaking of, let's talk about the settings and touch controls that the Buds 2 provide. So in the Galaxy Wearable app, you can actually adjust the level of ambient sound, and under touch controls, you have a few options. A single tap will pause or play tracks, a double tap will skip to the next track, A triple tap will actually take you back to the previous track, and touching and holding cycles through the ambient levels we discussed earlier, so between ambient, off, and active noise cancelling. But you can also configure the touch and hold to do more things, like turn on Bixby, decrease volume, or open some apps, etc. There's quite a few things you can do there. There's also a section for when you receive calls. And for calls, if you double tap the earphones, you can use that to either answer or decline the calls. Here's an example of me answering a call from my brother, and you can touch and hold to actually decline a call if you want to. What's also nice is all the individual touch controls can actually be turned off. I often turn them off when I'm exercising because if you accidentally, touch it to readjust it, then you end up pausing your music or skipping a song and it kind of takes you out the zone. So it's nice that you can turn off the touch controls if you need to. Under earbud settings, you can actually change a lot of things, but ones that might immediately catch your eye are the equalizer, which kind of adjusts the kind of sound that you're going to get out of the earphones. I prefer bass boosted, but I'm a bit biased. And you also get the earbud fit test to see if the buds sit comfortably in your ears or whether you might need to adjust it and get smaller tips or larger tips. So as you can see here, it tells me that my left earbud isn't really put in correctly, so I just adjusted a couple times until it confirms that okay, these are a good fit and I'm good to go. One thing I actually use often is actually in the lab section. Samsung does say that this is an experimental feature, so I wouldn't recommend it for everybody. But there's a feature that allows you to actually tap the bottom of the buds instead of touching and holding to adjust the volume up and down. This works independently of the touch controls, so if you do turn touch controls off, this one will still keep running in the background, but I find it to be a bit faster than the touch and hold for increasing and decreasing the volume that you normally have, so I kind of enjoy it. But it only works 85 to about 90% of the time, so as I say, it's experimental, so I don't expect it to work all the time, but I just keep tapping until eventually it recognizes that I'm trying to increase or decrease my volume. The last feature we'll talk about is Find My Buds, which allows you to track the last known location of your earbuds, and also allows you to trigger a small tone to play if you're still connected to them, but you can't seem to find one or the other. Maybe it slipped through the couch or you've dropped it somewhere, but you can't seem to find it, but you can still see you're connected. So then you can play a small tone that will play and you can kind of search for it like that. I will say that the tone is not very loud. I had to bring the bud right up to the camera just to get a little bit of inkling of what's going on here. So let's give it a listen. Yeah, so you can kind of see if the environment is very loud that you're going to struggle to find them even with the tone playing. But it's nice to know exactly where it is. I've had an experience where I left it at work and I couldn't find it around the house, but luckily Find My Buds just said, "You left it at work, bro, chill." So now we've covered all the specs, unboxing, and features. But how was the experience? So I gym in the morning during the week and then I head to work. So I use these pretty much the entire day. In terms of gym, it's really good at cutting out noise, so you won't hear anyone dropping weights if they're about 5 meters away, or the person behind you is busy grunting, trying to get their workout in. So it's really good at cutting those kinds of noises out. And having the different noise cancellation levels helps when you have to change from active noise cancelling to ambient, so you can hear someone if you need to ask for the machine or you want to say hi to a friend really quickly. It's really good at cutting those out and letting the sounds that you want in very quickly. But, and this is a big but, no Megan Thee Stallion.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
It's not very good earphones for running. I sweat quite a bit when I'm running, and that includes in and near the ears. So that, in combination with the head movement of going up and down from running, causes these earphones to slide out very frequently. So for the last 10 minutes of my run, and this is a 15-minute run, these things are sliding out constantly. And as a side effect of the sweating is that the active noise cancelling, when I put on that setting, actually goes into a small feedback loop. So it goes like deep, it beeps every second or so, which ends up I end up just turning it off at that stage. But if you just put it on off, the music itself is enough actually to just function as noise cancelling because it gets insulated really well. But in terms of running earphones, I would not recommend these for running at all. The experience is not good. But if you're just exercising and you're not doing many head movements or sweating too much and leaning to the side, it causes them to fall out, then I'd say these are great. For regular everyday use, not a single complaint at all. It's been more than a year and I use these every single day. No battery life issues, software updates are quick, and the noise cancelling will keep you locked in for the entire day. You will not regret buying these for casual use, in my opinion. And yes, the bass is kicking, so you will not miss out on any of that. What happened to my TV? Let's wrap things up with what I think these earphones are good at. So the things I think these earphones are good at are the pairing when you first unbox them, they're lightweight and easy to use, they have great battery life, and they're very customizable when it comes to their touch controls. The things I think these excel at are the sound quality and the noise cancellation. I think these were really fine-tuned to get you to be able to enjoy the type of music that you're listening to. Whether it be the bass, or just the vocals, or just the instrumentals, I think just sound great with these. And you also get the added 3D audio settings, which really add to a surround sound feel if that's the kind of type you enjoy. I generally just enjoy the straight music as it is, but if you enjoy the surround sound kind of effect, then the 3D audio settings really add to the sound quality. And I'm your average listener. I'm not your super refined engineer, and I think these sound really good. Things I would say these earphones struggle with are when they're used for high intensity fitness. Due to the constant need to readjust them, it can kind of interfere with your workout, and the activation of the touch controls kind of causes things to get a bit wonky. Like pausing of music or changing of noise cancellation levels can kind of disturb you when you're trying to do your workout. But that's kind of why I label them the best all-rounder, because they're really good at 95% of the tasks that they need to do. Average listening, good sound quality, great battery life, but they kind of struggle at the last 5%, which is high intensity fitness, which I don't think they're marketed for, but they will still get the job done. So they're kind of just a good all-round in that sense. So that wraps things up for the Galaxy Buds 2 review. Let me know your thoughts on them if you already have them, and if you don't, let me know if you're thinking about picking them up. I think they're worth a shot, honestly. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and let me know of any other tech products you guys are thinking of picking up. We might be covering them a bit later in the future, but I'm just working with what I got here. And please subscribe if you want to see more, because there's definitely more coming. But until then though, I'll see you guys in the next one.